Overcome your globe delusion. Despite the fact the globe's scientifically impossible, many people still struggle to discern the simplistic truth of where we are. The reason is because the ego holds sway in the minds of many people, because the education system has primed them that way, so they're quite happy to give automated defense mechanism style responses stroke mantras when their belief system, the things they cherish because they believe blindly, are questioned. It all comes to the ego, which holds this delusion together. The reason it does, like I say, is because of the education system. You need to tame that ego to then understand yourself better and in response discern better. And the only way you guys can do this is by stepping out of your comfort zone and taming that ego. Your comfort zone is at the bottom. There's no growth whatsoever. It's full of pizzas, beers, Netflix, all the juicy, disempowering crap that gets you nowhere. The only expansion there is at the waistline. Or if you step out of your comfort zone, go against the inner voice, i.e. the ego, that wants to call in the pizzas when you've got to do something difficult that you fear. Might be a physical thing, might be a martial art, might be a speech, might be a new job, might be doing something dangerous. But overcoming that fear, that inner voice that wants to call on Netflix and the pizzas, and can justify it too, at least it thinks it can, for as long as you'll entertain that. But if you step out of your comfort zone, in or out of the comfort zone, into a place of discomfort, and you overcome those fears or that situation and the ego, there's great power to be had. And you can do that time and time again with different things. And after a while in doing so, you start to tame the inner voice. And the inner voice tends to be a pantomime artist, one that likes silly, unhealthy charades. And once you start to tame him, you start to understand yourself better, the way you respond to things. And as a result of knowing yourself a bit better, you start to show more honesty to yourself because you understand yourself better and you're no longer willing to live a silly, delusional lie. And as a result, you start to stick to simplistic truths, which can be tested and verified by all. That's the way to discernment. That's the way to repair the damage done by the education system and the mainstream media. You've got to step out your comfort zone and do things to overcome the inner voice and to empower yourself. And in doing that, you understand yourself and basically get to reassess yourself through that process by becoming aware of your body's responses, the inner voice, and the excuses the mind will throw up, the ego will throw up to try and stop you from doing these difficult things, which are actually incredibly empowering. 1, to overcome the situation, 2, to tame the mind, and 3, to eventually get much better discernment, think clearer, and of course, own the ego, which makes you a better, well-rounded person anyway, because the ego is just a dark pantomime artist that holds you back, that holds all of this silly globe, the mainstream narrative together, because you automatically respond to silly triggers. Wipe the slate clean, overcome your ego, see clearer, overcome the bullshit, discern better, and see that the globe is scientifically impossible, tested and verified by all. Large standing bodies of water cannot display convexity upon its surface. Tower cranes and pendulums cannot be dead still and plumb whilst doing ludicrous speeds in all different directions. And you can't have an air pressure system next to a vacuum without some kind of solid wall to separate the two. Facts that prove the globe's impossible. Tame the ego, you'll see the simplistic truth. Cheers, everyone.